Hi guys, today we're going to be making a card and this is going to be using some pieces from the Halloween Hooplah kit by Queen and Company. That's last year's Halloween kit. And so I'm going to make a shaker card and I'm going to be using the cauldron. So I want to start with my panel, which I'm just going to ink it up with Stormy Skies Distress Oxide ink. And I'm only going to be I don't have to be super particular about this because this is going to get cut and things are going to go on top of it. But so I'm just going to blend it in as best I can, and I make a mess out of this blending. I'm terrible at it. Can never figure out where to put my fingers or where to put my paper. But then I'm going to be using also some black soot distress ink. I don't have all of the oxide colors yet, so I'm going to be kind of going back and forth between oxides and inks. I'm going to use a little bit of this to create like a kind of like a stormy, spooky sky. And I don't know if I've ever really seen anybody else talk about it, but sometimes when I know when I'm using stencils, I'm a hot mess. I just make a big old mess everywhere and my clouds look funny. But if I just go back over, I line my stencil back up and go back over it with the stormy skies, it blends it out nicely and it gives it almost like a real pretty 3D effect. I really like the way it comes out when I do this, and I will do this more than once on this card. So I'm just going to go back over. My camera keeps focusing and unfocusing because the sun isn't being my friend today. My little area where I work is literally right in front of a window, and so the sun keeps coming in and going out and coming in and going out. So now I'm going to make a moon. So I just cut a circle from, I just used a stitched circle die, and I'm using the two distress inks, I believe, Wild Honey, and I can't see the other one because I went by it too fast, but just a couple to kind of give it that kind of orangey look, and then I went over it again with the black soot, and now I'm going to put a couple of spooky little clouds over my moon, again with the hot mess, but I go back over it using the, which one is that one? Rusty Hinge. That's Rusty Hinge. I go back over it again with the Rusty Hinge and kind of blend out the black a little bit, and it gives it a nice little effect. So there's my moon, which is going to go right in the center of my card. I'm also going to cut now a little hilly, like a little ground for them out of just some plain brown cardstock. And I'm going to attach both of those straight to my panel. So I'm just going to use some glue, and I'm going to glue down my moon and then my little hilly background. And this panel is larger than an A2 size card because I'm going to be cutting it down using my stitched rectangle dies, and I'm going to use two of them. So the first one I'm making kind of like the next to the largest of my stitched rectangle dies, and that's going to be my inner part where my actual cauldron is going to go. And then I'm going to make another one out of that background. And because it's thick, I just use my craft knife to kind of finish going through the bottom because it wouldn't go all the way through all those layers. Now I'm going to take the largest of my stitched rectangle dies, which is just slightly smaller than an A2 size card, and I'm going to put that on the pieces that are left over, and I'm going to run that through my die cut machine, and that's going to make, I just wanted the background to be continuous, but I wanted it to be in layers. So you'll see what I mean. So it basically still goes together, but it's the same continuous background. So now I'm going to cut out my cauldron, line that up, tape it down, and run that through my machine. And now we're just going to work on putting together our shaker portion. So this is what comes in the kit from Queen and Company, and it's just they already are pre-cut and ready to go for your shaker pieces. So I'm just going to line it up on a piece of black cardstock, which is going to be the back of my that's where my shaker piece is going to attach to, because I want the shaker to be level with my panel, so to speak. So the shaker piece is going to go behind the front panel. So there it is, lined up. So now I just start putting together the piece with the actual cauldron in it by popping it up. And I just took some of the pieces from the inside of the cauldron. I just cut those and used those, and some of them were just doubled up on my own squares. Now I cut the cauldron piece from some purple glitter cardstock and from some black cardstock. The purple glitter is going on the inside, and this I messed up here, and I left it in so you can see glue doesn't work on glitter cardstock. So I end up just taking that piece of candy out, wiping it all off, and then I tried using my funky tape runner, but that was too hard with these little tiny pieces. So I found my glue dots finally, and I just used glue dots, and you can see the sun coming in and out. I put all of the little pieces in a little muffin, those little mini muffin tins, just so that I could keep everything organized for this card. So I have all of my little shaker pieces already ready to go. I have some extra candy that came in the Frightfully Sweet stamp set, which I had already stamped and cut out a ton of these. So I'm just going to put those in, and then the Halloween Hooplah kit comes with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I want to say 11 different shaker bits. So I'm using the little googly eyes and some of the different colored stars, pumpkins, the candy corn. That's what's going in my little cauldron here. And then I'm going to lift off some, not all, of my adhesive backing so that I can place the. Normally this kit comes with the acetate piece already cut and ready to go, but for some reason mine didn't. It was missing all the acetate. So luckily I have my own, and I just cut it out and attached it. And then I'll remove the rest of the adhesive strips and line up my cauldron with my panel, my background panel, and put that down. Then, like I said, I cut out the cauldron with some thick black cardstock, and I'm just going to adhere that right over the foam piece right there in the acetate. And once I have that attached, I believe I'm going to put the actual card together on the base of the card. So it's an A2 size card, and I'm going to use some black cardstock. And I decided that at first I thought I wanted the outer frame to pop up, but then I realized that's popped up twice and it would be way too thick. So what I decided to go with here is to take the second part of the frame and adhere it directly to my card base. So it will be directly on the card base, and then the part with the shaker will go right on top, just like that. So I'll just add some glue to my frame and then center that on my card base. And it's a top folding 5.5 by 4.25 card base. Now we're just gonna adhere my panel to my card base, and now we can start decorating the front of the card. I wanted to use up, like I said, all of my little frightfully sweet critters that I had already colored and cut out a whole bunch of these. And so I'm just going to pop up to the two that are wearing the witches' hats, the little raccoon and the squirrel, put them on either side of the cauldron. And the sky looked a little naked, so I wanted to add some stars. So I just took a white gel pen and I just started putting stars all over my panel. Just kind of randomly scattered stars and then some dots. So that's my nighttime sky. Then I just need to place my sentiment at the top. So I'm just going to cut it down, and I made a little fishtail on the end. And this is the sentiment that says, "Witching you the best day ever." I thought that was appropriate for the cauldron with the little characters with the witches' hats on. I'm just going to pop that up. Head's always in the way. And I thought that was it, but I felt like the little middle of the moon looked a little naked. And so from the Lawn Fawn's new stamp set with the coffee cups, I think it's called La Vie Latte or something like that, there's a little steam thing in it that I thought would look cute if I stamped it right in, like as if the little cauldron was smoldering. And that will complete my card. I want to thank you guys for stopping by. I really do appreciate you watching my videos and commenting on them. I hope you have a fantastic day. I will leave you with a couple of close-ups of this card, and there will be 2 more following. They're both in editing right now that will finish off the last of my Frightfully Sweet stamps. Have a wonderful day. I will see you again soon. Bye bye.